Hey everyone, I'm Joanne Smith and welcome to Joanne's Corner. In today's tutorial, we're going to be making a fabric strip quilted zipper pouch. So grab your fabric and your sewing machine and let's get started. Here are the supplies you're going to need for today's project. We're going to need 2 pieces of fabric for your lining. You'll need a zipper, mine's about 14 inches. A piece of batting or fusible fleece, and if you have batting, you'll need to have some kind of temporary adhesive basting spray. I've got 505. I got that at Hobby Lobby. We'll need a piece for our handle. We'll also need several different strips of fabric. Just make sure that it is as long as your piece of batting or fusible fleece. We'll need scissors, a rotary cutter, pins or clips, our iron, ruler, and your sewing machine. The first thing we're going to do is sew our strips together. Now your strips can be different widths. That part doesn't matter. Like I have one here that's 2.5 inches wide, and this one is 1.5 inches. It doesn't matter as long as it covers the width of your batting. But we're going to take one strip, and then we're going to lay the strip that we want next to it. We're going to put it right side down on that strip, and then we're going to do a 1/4 inch seam from the top all the way down. And then when we get that done, we'll open it up, and then we'll place our next strip on top of that piece and do the same thing, right sides together, and then sew a 1/4 inch seam all the way down. Also, if you want to pin or clip down the side to keep your strips from moving back and forth on you, that's probably a good idea. After you get all your strips sewn together, we need to take it to the ironing board and be sure to press all of your seams, go in the same direction, and just press all this nice and flat. Next, we're going to work on our handle. And for the handle, you'll need a piece of fabric that is 2.5 inches by 8 inches. And we're going to fold our long edges in about 1/4 inch and press those on both sides. And then we're going to fold the piece in half, like this, with our little edges folded in there. And then we're going to press that in half. It should look something like this. And now we're going to the sewing machine and we're going to run a stitch down this side, and if you want to, you can run one down this side to give it a finished look. Next, we're going to trim our piece that has all of our strips on it. Mine's all wonky down here at the bottom, as you can see. I had different lengths. So what we're going to do is put this right side down, and then we're going to place our batting piece on top of it. And I'm going to, like where I have these wider pieces on the outer edges, I'm going to like put them in the middle sort of those. But we have quite a bit of excess all the way around, so I'm just going to trim this to the size of my batting. Now we have our top piece all trimmed up and nice and square with our piece of batting, and you just need to place it on top of your batting, and then we're going to attach it with some basting spray. Do both sides. Just press that down. Now we're going to take this piece that's attached to our batting and we're going to our sewing machine to do some quilting. I'm just going to do like some lines down through here, maybe a couple on this piece where it's wider, but you do whatever kind of quilting that you want. As I quilt mine, I'm going to put the left edge of my presser foot against this seam down through here. That way it'll give me something to go by, and I'm just going to run stitches all down through here on each of these strips. Now it should be all nice and quilted and pressed and trimmed. That way our edges are even. And now we're going to take our zipper and we're going to put it at the end down here. And we need to put it right side down. And right side down with a zipper, this is right side up where your zipper pull is. So we're going to flip that over and put it right side down on our edge up here and line up our edges. And then we're going to take a piece of our lining fabric, and we should have 2 of these cut out that are 8.5 inches by 8.5 inches. And we're going to put it right side down, right on top of that. We need to line up our edges and line up our end down here, and then we're going to clip it, or you can pin it, whatever's more comfortable for you. And then we're going to take it to our sewing machine, and we're going to run a stitch right along the top. Now that we're going to sew our zipper, you need to back stitch first, and then start forward. And just take your time and go slow, and make sure you know where that zipper is at all times. Make sure your ends are lined up, and just take your time and sew along the top. And then just back stitch at the end. Now we're going to take it to our ironing board, and we're going to open this up, and we're going to press it. We're going to press this down, and then we're going to press this, and then we're going to take it to our sewing machine, and we're going to run a top stitch right down through here. When you do the top stitch right through here, be sure that your lining piece is down in the back, and that way we're catching both of them. We're catching the front and your back piece. Just run it right along through here. Next, we're going to turn our piece where our zipper is at the bottom, and we're going to fold it upwards and join our top up here, the top of our zipper, and these are right sides together. And then we're going to place our other lining piece right side down on top of that, and we're going to line up our sides and line up our top and clip across the top, and then we're going to run a stitch right across our top of our zipper. After we get that part sewed, then we're going to open our zipper all the way and open up our zipper pouch. Oops. And now we're going to press this side that we just sewed. We're going to press it down, press this and then the back. Make sure your lining is down, and then we're going to run another top stitch on this side. Our zipper pouch should be looking something like this. The next thing we're going to do is open our zipper about halfway, and we're going to put our lining pieces together and put the outside of our bag together, and we're going to line up our zipper, and these little zipper teeth, we want to make sure that they are pointing toward the outside of the bag. And then we're going to clip those, and then we're going to clip the other side. After you get your zipper clipped, we're going to take our little handle that we made at the beginning, and we're going to fold it, and we're going to put it between the outside pieces of the bag, and we're going to put our rough edges against the outside rough edges here. So just stick it in probably about 2 inches down from the zipper, and then clip it. And then we're going to clip down this side and clip on this side. And now we're going to clip on our lining. And what we want to do on our lining, we want to leave about a 3 to 3.5 inch space open. So you can mark that with pins or your clips, just however you can remember that. Sometimes I'll just buzz right on through it and not even think. But just clip all that, and then we're going to sew it. We're going to start at one of these ends, just however you want to do it. If you want to do it from the top down on each side, you can do that. Or if you want to start here and work your way to here and stop and then go around, you can do that. But be sure to back stitch when you start, and then sew all the way up one side. Leave your needle down, raise your presser foot, and pivot your fabric around, and then sew to right here, a couple inches over, and then you'll do a back stitch, and then you'll cut your threads. Then you'll skip about 3.5 inches, something like that, and then you'll start back here, back stitch, and sew to your corner, pivot, and sew all the way back around down to here, and then do a back stitch there. Now we're going to box our bottoms. So you just need to stick your hand in the lining, in the hole in the lining, and come down here and push this in, and we're going to make like a little Pac-Man puppet thing. And we're just going to line up these edges and flatten them out, and then we're going to flip this one back, and you can use a ruler or a little quilting ruler or just whatever works for you, and just measure in from the point, from the edge down here, 1.5 inches, and then just make your mark across. Anyway, it's wanting to be difficult, but put a clip there, and we're going to take this to our sewing machine and sew across this line. And then we're going to mark this one. We're just going to do all of our corners the same way. And for this end, your lining end, it's a little more difficult, but just kind of stick your finger in there and line up your seam there and get it all straight. And then just measure 1.5 inches on this and mark your line. And then we're going to sew on all 4 of our lines. Now we're going to take our scissors, and we're going to cut each corner, and we're going to leave about 1/4 inch, maybe 1/2 inch, but just cut each corner off. Now we're going to turn our bag right side out. So just reach into the hole and through the zipper and get a hold of your bag and be easy with it. And just turn your bag, just pull it through the hole. This is my favorite part. And there's our little handle. And just stick your hand back down in there, and you can poke out your corners. There's our little box bottoms. And then poke out where your zipper is. And each of your lining corners. Let's poke those out. Now, should be looking something like this. So what we're going to do now is close up this hole in our lining, and you can push this together with your fingers and kind of finger press it, or you can take it to your iron and press it, but we're just going to do like 1/8 inch stitch and just close up our lining. After you sew the hole together in your lining, just kind of pull it apart and make sure that the hole is closed, and then tuck your lining down into your bag. Isn't that cute? And there's our cute little zipper pouch. If you've enjoyed the tutorial, please like it and subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you soon.